Hello friends and welcome back to another tutorial. So we are starting right off and today we are going to be using this temporary tattoo and applying it to our tumbler. So all I am doing here is just cutting off any excess of that paper so that it is a little bit easier for when we go to apply the tattoo to the tumbler. And we are starting off with a fully sanded and prepped tumbler, as you saw in the beginning of the video. I did paint it white just so that my glitter that I was going to apply would pop a little bit better and be brighter once I do apply it, since they are fairly light colors that I am going to be using today. And I purchased my temporary tattoos from Amazon. You can find a lot of different ones on there. There's like floral ones, there's some with animals on them, there's just a whole bunch of different ones. And they are fairly inexpensive depending on the size and all of that fun stuff that goes into the temporary tattoos. So I got a pack. I don't remember how many was in the pack, but it was quite a few for about like $14-15, so it wasn't that bad. So here I am just going to measure on my tumbler, just kind of eyeballing it where my tattoo is going to be placed. And I did place it upside down just because this is how we are going to apply it to our tumbler. So that way it would give me a better, kind of a better idea of how or where I needed to place my glitter. So here I am just going to mask off the bottom of my tumbler so that I could apply my first color of glitter. And I do have to apologize. I keep using glitters um, that, even though they are really pretty, they are no longer available. Um, as you know, one of the companies that I would get the glitter from, they had to shut their doors. Um, but you could use any color glitter for this, or, create your own mix of glitters if you would like, and apply it to your tumbler. So I am just trying to get this as straight as possible as I can. And as you can see, I am kind of having issues with that. So it's just part of the process. So um, after I finish this, I am going to go in with my first color, and I believe it was called Agnes, if you guys were able to purchase from the shop before they had to close their doors. That's the color that I use. It's called Agnes from Obsessed Glitter Co. So I am just going to start off by applying some Mod Podge on that lower part of the tumbler and applying my glitter. So as you can see off to the right, that is the pink glitter that I am using. It's kind of like a iridescent-y type of glitter. So it's it has like different shades, and it's just a really pretty color that I was wanting to use for a while, because some of my glitters I haven't used in a while, and that's, yeah. So I need to start using some more of my other glitters. Um, so we're just going to apply this to the tumbler and then remove that piece of masking tape, just because if I were to wait for the Mod Podge to dry and then remove the tape, it would most likely leave some of that glitter that I applied to my tumbler. And I apologize if you hear my dog barking in the background. um, so yeah, we are just going to do that and apply it to the bottom as well. You do want to be careful if you are using a chunky mix for the bottom of your tumblers, just because sometimes they don't lay down as flat as you would like. Just keep that in mind if you are using a chunky glitter. And as you can see, this is a gorgeous pink with those iridescent and like different shades of pinks and purples and blues, and it's just amazing. So, um, since this was a chunky glitter, I decided to do 2 layers of glitter just so that I can have a good coverage. And of course, you are going to be knocking off any excess. And like I said, you are going to want to remove that masking tape as soon as you finish, just so that you won't have lifting of Mod Podge or glitter or anything, because it could mess up your tumbler. So after that, I went in with a second coat, and now I am going to be using a glow-in-the-dark glitter. It glows like probably like a fuchsia pink, so it's not like, I don't know how to explain it. There's going to be a picture at the end of the video. So if you guys want to see how it shines, wait to check out the end of the video so that you guys can see how it shines in the dark. So this color, I believe, is called You Glow Girl by Backfist Customs. This is a shop on Etsy, and I believe they have their own website. I haven't shopped in this shop for a while, so that is the shop name. And I am going to apply a fairly thick amount of Mod Podge because since this is a fine glitter with um, the glow powder mixed into it, I just wanted to make sure that it was fairly, that it would adhere fairly well to the tumbler, even though I am going to go ahead and do a second coat on the glitter as well, just so that I have more of that glow powder on there. So yeah, after this, we are going to move on and apply the first layer of Mod Podge, and this is a 24-ounce plump from the Steel Magnolia. So I did use about 30 milliliters of epoxy for um, that first layer. And if you are using a chunky glitter, it is going to depend kind of on how many layers you add, just to make sure that you have a smooth surface. I believe I did go in with like about another like 20 or 30 milliliters. So I did epoxy it twice before applying my tattoo to this. So once you have a completely smooth surface of epoxy and you let everything dry and everything is ready to go, after that, you are going to grab some water and your temporary tattoo. It does have like this little protective plastic film on top of it. And here I am just making sure of how I am going to align my tattoo onto the tumbler, making sure that I have enough room and that it won't go below that pink line, or that it isn't completely connected to that pink section, because I am going to add a strip of gold to that section just to break it off a little bit. So you are going to want to remove that plastic film and then carefully place it onto your tumbler. So this isn't like a water slide, like you can't move it before or like adjust it before removing all the water. You have to make sure of where you want it. And then you're going to grab a towel, get it wet, and apply a fair amount of pressure to that paper backing so that when you are doing this, it is transferring that image onto your tumbler. And you also want to make sure that you're not completely soaking that paper backing, that it'll like rip off, just because sometimes the pressure that you apply could probably tear that backing. So yeah, just kind of like squeeze any excess water that you might have on the towel and rub on to the backing of the temporary tattoo. So once you go to remove your backing, you do want to do this fairly slowly just because, just in case you didn't completely um, transfer the whole image onto the tumbler, you can put it back down and then go back in with that towel. So here I'm just gonna remove that slowly. So once I finish that, I waited about a day for it to dry. You probably don't have to, but since I was working on other stuff, I just waited. And then after this, I epoxied it, and I also removed any excess waters that I could very gently with my fingers. So after I epoxied, I applied that gold strip of vinyl onto my tumbler, and I did epoxy it with approximately 30 milliliters just to make sure it was completely sealed. And this is the final image, and the glow image is coming right up. And if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.